invisible force. So here's number 9, invisible force. Now this is one of the worst ones because it's kind of hard for you to account for an invisible force. Does anybody know what an invisible force can be?
Unexpected.
Okay, here's some invisible forces. One is the city. Okay, you didn't know they were going to come in and start smashing your face on the pavement 5 times in a row. Okay, here's another one. You can end up with some super weird zoning things. So again, if you're doing something weird and zoning comes into play, that's bigger than you. Here's another one, condo board. Okay, I've had major issues with condo boards. The condo board is, again, almighty, all-powerful, and you don't control this invisible force. Okay, here's another invisible force, insurance. We had a property burn. Here's the thing, guys. If you do 50 houses, 1 will burn. If you do, write that down, 50 homes, 1 will burn. That's a 2% chance of something burning. So insurance, another invisible force. It's a big group, it's a big company. They're going to do whatever they want. Here's another invisible force, surprise overages. So let's say, taking out that wall or opening up a wall, suddenly you're into surprise land. That's something invisible. You couldn't see that invisible thing. So with the invisible force, how do you combat that? We have a thing in here called the risk analysis form. And risk analysis is something you do before going into your deal so that you can predict what the risks are going to be. And by having that risk analysis in advance, for example, our risk analysis form lists out a lot of the dead patient risks. And you can come into a deal like we just did that one on Walnut that had like 1 risk. So we're coming into a deal. Remember, 10 risks, you're still making money. So on day 1, I'm coming in with 1 risk. That's not too bad. That's going to limit your invisible force problems. Now, we're doing it as a duplex, so that's probably adding on another 4 or 5 risks. But as soon as you go into the deal, guys, you got to have all your risks in advance. So risk analysis is one way to get rid of your invisible force problems. And that's inside the system. So a lot of these things, I've made the mistakes. I've paid for the mistakes with blood, sweat, tears, time, money, effort, energy. You guys can just jump in and just take this stuff and use it.